Welcome, everybody, to another edition of our educational sessions. Today, we'll be talking about our student loan forgiveness program that was recently introduced by the Biden administration. And along with me today, I have one of Level's financial planning associates, Alyssa Bogardus, who's going to take us through all the material in this brief presentation. But before we get to Alyssa, let's just talk briefly about the disclosures that we have to give anytime we give a presentation. The following is not intended to be advice. It's intended for general information purposes only. No purpose of the presentation serves as the receipt of or as a substitute for personalized investment advice from Level or any other investment professional of your choosing. Please see additional important disclosures at the end of this presentation. And of course, a copy of everything is on our website. So now that we have the disclosures out of the way, let's just jump right into things. So Alyssa, I'll give it over to you. Let's talk about student loan forgiveness.
Thanks, Mike. So today I'm going to go over some of the new changes to the student loan forgiveness, the eligibility and the application for those new changes, the proposed plan going forward, and some commonly asked questions. So what are the new changes? For one-time student loan forgiveness, they're proposing to forgive up to $20,000 to Pell Grant recipients and up to $10,000 to non-Pell Grant recipients. And only federal direct loans qualify. So if your loan did not qualify for the payment pause that began in 2020, it is not going to qualify for this one-time student loan forgiveness. And they have approved the extension of the payment pause until December 31st, 2022. So starting January 1st, 2023, mandatory payments will resume. And they did make some changes to the public service loan forgiveness program. So this is actually the most successful student loan forgiveness for those employed by nonprofits. And the temporary changes will correct major errors that were seen in previous applications, and it'll make previously denied individuals now approved for some people. So these temporary changes expire on October 31st, 2022. So if you think you may be eligible for that program, you want to make sure that you fill out the waiver before October 31st, 2022. Okay, so who is eligible for student loan forgiveness? Your income must be less than $125,000 for individuals and less than $250,000 for married couples and heads of households. And this will most likely be verified using your AGI on your 2020 or your 2021 tax return. You do not have to be eligible in both years. It's just you must meet that income requirement in one of the years.
So let me ask an important question, because I know a lot of people have this question. So when we say 125,000 or 250,000, are we talking about, for example, your parents, or are we talking about the individual who actually took the loan, or what, or does it depend on something?
It depends on what your tax filing status is for either 2020 or 2021.
Okay.
And the loan must have been taken out prior to July 1st, 2022, and dependents who are currently enrolled in higher education are still eligible for this one-time student loan forgiveness as long as they meet the date requirements, and their parents must meet income requirements. So will I have to apply for student loan forgiveness? Those that are enrolled in an income-driven repayment program will not need to apply for the one-time student loan forgiveness since the education department already knows their income. But if the education department does not know your income, or you're unsure if they know your income, you will need to fill out an application. And that application should be available by mid-October, and they're expecting a 4 to 6 week approval process. So ideally, you would want to apply before November 15th so that you can be approved before you start your mandatory payments January 1st, 2023. And the studentaid.gov website can be used to view all of your loan data and update your personal information. And you want to make sure that your account information on studentaid.gov matches what is on your tax return. So for example, if you've had a name change in the past, you really want to make sure that your studentaid.gov account is updated to match your tax return. And what is the plan going forward? So a lot of the proposals are for income-driven repayment plans, but they are proposing for borrowers to pay no more than 5% of their discretionary monthly income, whereas right now borrowers can pay up to 10% of their monthly income. And they're planning to raise the amount of income that's considered non-discretionary and is therefore protected from repayment, which essentially would lower your monthly payment. They also plan to forgive loan balances after 10 years of payments instead of 20 years of payments for borrowers with a $12,000 loan balance or less. And they would like to cover the borrower's unpaid monthly interest as long as the borrower is making payments. So the idea here is that anybody that's making payments and making payments on time, their loan balance should not be increasing. And then I just wanted to go over some commonly asked questions that I have seen. So what if I paid off my loan during the payment pause? They are looking into refunding the amount that you paid when you were not required to pay something. So that's definitely something that we want to look out for and look for more information on that. And how will my payment be recalculated? As of now, if you're on an income-driven repayment plan, this one-time student loan forgiveness is not going to change your monthly payment because your income is not changing. But they have not yet determined how payments will be recalculated for people that aren't on income-driven repayment plans. And then, is student loan forgiveness taxable? It is not federally taxable, but it could be taxable at the state level depending on what state you live in, and there are a handful of states that are considering taxing the amount that was forgiven. And finally, what if I have multiple loans with different interest rates? And unfortunately, it has not yet been determined which loan would be forgiven under this circumstance.
So interesting. So it'll be interesting in New York State if New York State decides it wants to tax the forgiveness on your state tax return. So that will be interesting, especially depending on who they're going to tax, whether it be the parent or the loan taker. So anyways, lots of quick information there. We wanted to make sure that everybody was updated on that very quickly. We will keep everyone posted as we learn more about the program. And until then, this is Mike Hebron, the Chief Operating Officer here at Level Financial Advisors with Alyssa Bogardus. Everybody have a great day. Thanks.